Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to SeanTMac's NFL Pick6, where I, SeanTMac, give you 6 games that I believe will win against the spread. I don't work for a sports app or a casino, and I don't condone gambling. And like my father used to say, never bet with the rent money. And make sure the cat's fed. Forget about it. Let's get started. First things first, this is my new channel, SeanTMac Sports. All right, the other channel I had a couple of weeks ago, after 8 weeks, allegedly got hacked in. We couldn't get back into it. Here we are. Hopefully, everybody's been watching my channel on the old SeanTMac Pick6. Will come over here and join us as well. And I thank you so much for your support. With that said, let's get started. If you're just joining us, we are now 34-26 as we enter week 11. 4-2 again this weekend. Try and hit that inevitable 6-0. First game up is Tampa Bay at Buffalo. Both teams coming off losses. Both teams 6-3. Tampa Bay looked flat in the first 3 quarters last week. Took them a while to get started, which usually happens when a team took a bye. For some reason or other, a lot of teams lose their momentum when they get that extra week off. It is what it is. With that said, they're coming into Buffalo. Buffalo took a butt whipping last week against Miami. Nobody knew what happened with that game. I think they overlooked Miami, deservingly so. They're a bad team, but they set themselves up for failure. Buffalo will be 5.5-point favorites in this game. And here's the way I see it. Tampa Bay has probably less injuries than Buffalo when it comes to their stars. Tampa Bay still has a lot of weapons with White and Tucker in the backfield, Sterling Shepard, not to mention Taz Johnson, okay? And, of course, Baker Mayfield. On the other hand, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, but it seems like Josh Allen is not doing what he really wants to do, and I think they need to let go of that at least a little bit, even with the injuries they have on the offensive receiving core. Let them find a way to win the game, which I don't think is going to happen. I think they're going to step over themselves again. I think Tampa Bay is going to keep this one really close, if not win. Buffalo is favored by 5.5 points at Buffalo. Expect some nasty weather. Baker Mayfield is kind of used to it. He did play some years in Cleveland, so it shouldn't affect him too much. So with that said, Buffalo, 5.5-point favorites over Tampa. I'm going with Tampa Bay. Next up, we have the Panthers at Atlanta. This is a rematch of a game that was played a few weeks ago at Carolina, where they stomped some butt and walked all over Atlanta 30-0. I picked Atlanta. I couldn't believe what was going on in that game. It's almost like the whole coaching staff was sleeping. I don't see that happening again. But where the quarterback for Atlanta goes, Pence, is where the team goes. And if he's not looking confident and sure of himself, then how do you expect the rest of the team to be that way? With that said, though, they still have a lot of weapons, especially against Carolina. Okay, they still have Drake London, Robinson, and Pitts. And Carolina, listen, they got some stars. They got Rico Duday back there running the ball around like a nut job. And they got Saunders, a decent receiver. And listen, Bryce Young, I'm kind of glad for the kid. At 5-5, all right, he's making some noise. He's getting a little respect that he deserves. But this week at Atlanta, I see Atlanta with the weapons they have. And if they just keep Pence under control, they should win this game by 3.5 or more. Atlanta's favorite by 3.5 at home at Carolina. I'm taking Atlanta. Next up, we have the Bengals at Pittsburgh. The Bengals 3-6. Pittsburgh 5-4. Aaron Rodgers looked like 3 of the last 4 games. Kind of looking like the Aaron Rodgers the last couple of years. All right, kind of overthrowing the ball. Doesn't look really confident back there, which he does have a decent offensive line. And the defense, even though they lost last week, they really played well They've been playing well the last week or two. Okay, but consistency, of course, wins games. I think they're still the better of the two teams here. The Bengals defense is a horror show. Now, does it mean all of a sudden a fairy comes down and taps them on the head and all of a sudden they play outstanding? Anything's possible. Flacco will score some points. Okay, he still has some weapons out there. He's got Chase and Higgins. Okay, so look out for those two guys. They'll put up some points. They'll make it interesting. But I see Pittsburgh kind of moving away at the end, over 6 points. Pittsburgh will be favored by 5.5 points at home. I'm taking the Steelers over the Cincinnati Bengals. Next up, interesting game. I had to take this one because I just love everything I'm seeing about it. Packers 7 over the Giants. Here we go. Oh, yeah, how can you say that? Green Bay's this, that, and everything else. Green Bay's what? I think Green Bay lost the last 3 out of 4 games. Everybody's crowning them the first week they played. Just relax a little bit. Hold off on the Super Bowl parade just yet, okay? As for the Giants, no question about it. They are ailing. They are beat up. The quarterback's probably going to be out with concussion recall or protocol. They lost Neighbors for the year. We already know that. They lost their best running back. They're hurting. But the defense is still fun to watch. And now, here comes the secret weapon. And I'm not kidding you. Jameson Winston is going to be quarterbacking more than likely for the Giants. I love watching this kid. This kid can make any game interesting. Okay? And I know he can't wait to get out there and show them. Now, is Green Bay going to do the usual, control the ball, use all the people they have on the field? Listen, I'm just trying to make this short and sweet. Green Bay is not blowing anybody away these days. In fact, I think they average 24, 25 points a game. Okay, I'm not saying that the Giants are doing any better. But trust me when I tell you, this kid Winston will keep it interesting. And I believe will keep it close. All right? Jordan Love can do whatever he wants back there, which to me, he still blows my mind because he just doesn't seem to like going out of the pocket for whatever reason, even when he's in trouble. With that said, I'm going with the Giants. That's right. I'm going with the G-Men. Packers are favored by 7 at New York. By 7, give me the Giants for sure. Next up, we have really good one too. Kansas City, Denver. Excellent matchup. You got to pick a hard one. You know what I mean? Kansas City will be favored by 3.5 points at Denver. Denver's 8-2. How can that be? Well, if you watched all the games, you know how it would be, and you also know how Mahomes is. Mahomes was struggling the last game he played. Okay, and I don't see that happening again. Even going to Denver. All right. Now Denver is 8-2. But let's take a look at some of the scores that they won by. 10-7, 13-11. They ain't blowing anybody away. And Bo Nix, I think they let him off the leash too late. His confidence is not there. He seems to still have a problem reading secondaries and defenses. Doesn't mean he can't throw the ball. He can chuck it better than anybody. But against Kansas City defense, they pick apart guys like this. Okay, and Mahomes, you know what he's going to do. He's going to dip and dab to Kelsey, hand the ball off the Hunt, take some time off the clock. And Mahomes, with his veteranship and the veteran players, will definitely get the job done. 3.5 points at Denver. Who's 8-2? Okay, if you want to crown them already, you think they're going to go ahead and wipe out Kansas City? Mind you, that Kansas City really has to win this game. If they want to stay pace with Denver to try to get into the playoffs, they need this game, and Mahomes knows that. And one more thing, Andy Reid is probably one of the best coaches to get his team up after a bye week. Okay, which I said earlier with Tampa Bay isn't easy to do. Look out, Kansas City by 3.5 or more points. And last but not least, we have the Cowboys. I know you couldn't wait for me to bring them up. It's only been 2 weeks. Cowboys at the Raiders in Vegas. Cowboys will be favored by 3.5 point favorites. You can easily see why it's 3.5 point favorites. Okay, because let's face it, Cowboys defense, they've gotten better up front, but the secondary, I mean, there's no secret there. They looked like they were making a little bit of a comeback in the last couple of weeks, and then right back to square one again. They're going to give them some points. There's no question about it. But for the Raiders, Geno Smith is just horrible this year. And now he can't catch what he throws, correct? I get that part. But they got Bowers back, and they got the running back, Jacob, back there. They can make some noise, okay? And I said, the Dallas secondary is suspect. But let's talk about Dallas offense. Even at 3-5-1, they are still a powerhouse offense. Excuse me. They got a lot of weapons, a lot of healthy weapons, and Dak Prescott is still playing MVP ball. And with that said, against the Raiders, who I believe lost to Denver last week, 10-7 or some nonsense like that, can't even get a second touchdown. Right. Well, Denver has a great defense. Okay, every team can be scored on. Right? You were held to one touchdown, for Christ's sake. Let's get real in the field. Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Pickens, Jake Ferguson, too much to handle for the Raiders. Too much for one or two guys on that Raiders defense that are doing what they usually do to handle. Look for the Cowboys to win at Vegas. 3.5 point favorites to cover. Cowboys. Now, let's quickly go over our 6 picks. First, we got Tampa at Buffalo. Buffalo is favored by 5.5 points. Both teams come in 6-3. I am taking Tampa Bay to cover the 5.5 points. That's the underdog. Next up, we have Panthers at Atlanta. Atlanta's home, 3-6. Panthers 5-5. Atlanta 3.5 point favorites. Keep it in the back of your mind. Carolina did a little stomp down on them a couple weeks ago, 30-0. Ain't happening this time. Atlanta to win by 3.5 points. Then we have the Bengals at the Steelers. You always got to give Flacco his due. He makes games happen. He keeps teams in it. But when you got a defense that just constantly gives up points after points, there's nothing there. There's no reason Aaron Rodgers can't throw for over 300 yards, even at his age. All right. And I know he's going to use Metcalf a lot and do his thing, but Pittsburgh at home with the terrible towels, 5.5 point favorites, take Pittsburgh. Then we have the Packers and the Giants. I'm looking forward to this game because I really believe that the Giants have a chance to keep it close and maybe squeeze out a win against the dethroned Green Bay Packers. Okay, Packers are favored by 7. Okay, that's a push. 7 points over the Giants. I'm going with the Giants as the underdogs against Green Bay. And then we have Kansas City at Denver. Okay, Kansas City will be favored by 3.5 points over the 8-2 Broncos. Kansas City 5-4. Andy Reid will have this team ready. Kansas City is favored by 3.5 points. Look for Kansas City to win by 4 more points over the Broncos. And last but not least, we have the Monday Night Football game, which is Cowboys at the Raiders. I really don't see anything happening for the Raiders. Geno Smith, I know you can say, well, maybe he's overdue for a good game. No, it's the rest of the team's got to help too. Like I said, he can't catch what he throws to himself. Cowboys are 3.5 point favorites. Too much offense for the Raiders to keep up with, whether the defense suck or not, on both sides. Too much offense on the Cowboys side. 3.5 point favorites for the Cowboys. I'm taking the Cowboys. That's it for today. And I wish everybody good luck. And have a safe and pleasant weekend. See you next time.